You invested a car payment, and the average car payment now for a new car is close to $700 a month. Two of those within a family, it's $1,400 going to the bank, going to the car dealership, and not going to you, versus if you had invested that.
Now, listen, when it comes to Rachel Cruz and the Dave Ramsey's, I understand what they're trying to say, right? And in personal finance, I do that as well. I always try to preach, like, man, when you get a car, you need to understand how much money you're spending, that all that money you could take to invest. But I recognize you have to understand during these times, people need a car. Hands down, people need a car. And the message of saying, you know what you could do instead of making that car payment? You could take it and invest. It's not a reality that most people don't have. I don't want to say most, a majority of people don't have. In this day and age, most people need to have a car. And most people, unfortunately, have a car payment. Whether you like it or not, because me personally, I always highly encourage people to have a paid off car, but in the majority of society, that's not the case. And strictly just thinking, well, if you have no car payment, well, for some people it means you have no car at all, you can have so much money in the account. That's not the reality. The reality of the situation is this. You need to definitely get a car and you can't afford, right? Do not have any ridiculous car payments. Put down a car payment. Once you put down a good car payment, you have a nice payment on a car that's not debilitating you, right? That's the key. That's not debilitating you and allows you to remain to live below your means and to save and invest. And then once you have that car paid off, right? If you have it for 5 years, once you have that car paid off, guys, there's no need to rush to get another car. You see, the issue is people continue to rush and get another car and they're always stuck with having a car payment. So her message is legit, right? It is legit. I love the meaning behind the message, but it's not that simple, right? It is not that simple to just tell people, no car payment, take that money and invest. That's not the case, because the majority of people as well, they're just so strapped with debt right now that they are not going to do that. But it doesn't mean that what she's saying is wrong, but we just need to come to a realization that whole, just you could just do this because it's so easy, especially with a car. We all need a car, period. We all do. You just cannot put yourself tied to a ridiculous car payment, because it is true, right? Continuously having a car and having a car payment is the number one wealth killer. But a car itself, right? The first time you get a car, you make that payment. After 5 years, the car itself is not a wealth killer. It's people's inability to just not stay with the same car, take care of the car, and continue riding. Let's continue watching the video.
Because it's not a home, right? If you pay that in a mortgage, your home over time is going to go up in value, as we've seen. And the thing is too, like, our cars have become a status symbol. And I hate it because I'm like, it's for like 2 minutes or 2 seconds at a stoplight. And that's it. Or for your friends or whatever. And I'm like, what are we chasing here? What are we doing? And we're throwing away, honestly, people are throwing away their retirement for it.
That's not true either, man. That is not true. I mean, she's not 100% wrong, but it's just, I get it, because she's really passionate. So she's just wishing that people could just save to retire. And you can find ways, because people do some stupid purchases, right? And they say they can't save, they can't, they're never going to retire because they do stupid purchases. But once again, it's that car. She said a house. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But it's just that car. It's strictly just saying like a car is the reason why you can't retire. That is not true. It is not true at all. Like, simply saying it's stupid. People just have a car for 2 seconds and be like, no. People need a car to get to work. People need a car to get around, to do the things they need to do. It's not strictly to just show off. Now, there are people who have expensive ass cars and they're doing it to show off. But you know what? They might have the money for that. Some people have the car for the luxurious reasons, and that's all on them. Like, I don't really pay attention to what's into people's wallet, and I automatically assume when I see a nice car, oh, they must be in debt. That's a horrible way of thinking. But I would say this, a majority of people do have a car, and they try to get a car that's quote unquote reliable, so they spend more, but they're all going to work, right? That's the number one form of transportation to move around. It's a utilization. It's really, really important for so many people to have a car, because that's the only way they're going to get to the places where they need to go. So that's why having a car is important. Now, once again, I don't want nobody to get so confused with this video. She is right what she's saying. There's so many other things you could do with your car. Like, for example, if you have an option to get a $700 car payment or like a $300, $400 car payment, and the $400 car, gets you around, and the $700 car is just one of those cars, just your dream car. No, right? Get the $300 payment and that $400 difference, put it towards retirement. That's the way you need to think. But it's not a zero-sum game with no car payment. Take all that money and invest, because people just don't have that ability to do it. In life, it's not all about just being so tight and being so saying no all the time. You have to learn how to get a car that you can manage, a payment you can manage. You have to know how to save a little bit. You have to know how to do all these things in life to keep a good balance, because you do want happiness and you do want some peace. And she also did mention the house. Now, I don't like that having that conversation too much about telling people, oh, I have a house. Why? Because right now houses are really, really expensive, and people continuously think that getting a house is the number one way for them to build wealth, right? It might be the only way for some people to get wealth is due to the equity, but it's not the only way. And people will do whatever it takes to get a house, and they justify it as in, well, you know what? This is gonna give me so much equities and go give me so much value. So this is the home. This is what I want to do because this is the way to build wealth. But that's not true. We all understand there's homeowners insurance, there's repairs. You pay so much to maintain that house that when it's all said and done, it's like, okay, was it really worth it? Right? You spend so much money monthly or yearly to just try to hold on to that value. Hold on as much as you can to that value by pumping in so much money to keep your house in good shape. And in reality, it's like, okay, was it really worth it? Now, a house is a lifestyle, not an investment. And it's really sad that she said that, you know how much money you can make? It's not. It has nothing to do with that. Yes, that is something that comes along with it, but the house you choose is a lifestyle. And your lifestyle depends upon how much money you make, how much money you have, how much money you could afford. Because in the end, it's just a stupid ass house. Like if you're having at least below 25% of your monthly income going towards a mortgage, then that's awesome. But if you're someone that's hearing advice like, oh, a house is a great investment, you're willing to go to 40 damn or 45 damn near percent, right, for your home, for your mortgage payment, due to the fact of you think this is a wealth building strategy. It is not a wealth building strategy. So that's why I think, man, I'm sorry I'm getting ranty, but I just feel like for us financial educators and people who do financial videos, we just need to just come to grips that you have to try to work with the circumstances that majority of people are working with now and try to help them from the point they're in now. When you start a conversation by saying, if you had no car payment, right, or rather than buying a car, you know what you could do with it? You lose people, right? That might work with the whole latte effect. Not everyone drinks coffee. And that does work to a certain degree. If you think about it, like, yeah, those small little payments, it does add up. It is true. But it doesn't work with stuff that's like a huge necessity in society, which is a car, right? A home is, I don't want to say necessity, but it's something people do want to have and do want to aim for. But you have to do it when it's right. Because if you don't have a house, at least you have an apartment. So you have something as well where you can live, where it's like a nothing type of situation. So guys, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole financial educators out there telling people, you know, the things you could do with the necessities in life if you don't have them, right? Especially in this case, being a car. And once again, I understand a car is the number one wealth killer, but to me, it's stupid car purchases and impulsive buying is the number one wealth killer. And if you are really impulsive with cars, you're most likely really impulsive with everything else in life. And that's all in combination derailing you from reaching your wealth. Hit the like, leave a comment, subscribe, guys. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.